Hello, welcome to CBSE with Sudhir. We are going to look at a thing of beauty, basically looking at what are the 10 main points that this poem talks about, and we will then discuss some of the questions so that you get familiar with how to present a particular answer. Okay, so let's get started with a thing of beauty. What exactly is the poem about? Of course, if you want to know word by word explanation, please go and see the explanation video, detailed explanation video, which has been done on this channel. Now, this is an excerpt from John Keats' longer poem, Endymion, which is about a young shepherd named Endymion seeking out goddess Cynthia. He goes through several places like the forest and the sea. Now, this is a particular excerpt from that particular poem. It talks about how beauty can motivate us in various ways. So, in that sense, it's a feel-good poem, but also making a few important and pertinent points. It talks about beauty being a part of the system, point number one. The moon, the trees, the musk, the roses, and the daffodils. In addition, man also produces objects of beauty like art, poetry, mythology, stories to provide us with joy. So, this is, in a sense, the gist of the poem. But let me talk about the theme of the poem, which is again very important. What exactly is the poem about? Because this is something which you need to know in order to include it in your answers. Now, the poem essentially conveys this message that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. And that's, according to me, also a very positive way of looking at life around us. It transcends time, which means that any amount of time that passes, a thing of beauty will always remain a joy forever. It will never fade away. Beauty has the power to remove darkness, gloom, and negativity, and helps us survive when there is a shortage of noble nature, on when is one is surrounded by evil. So when there are negative things happening around us, when you feel a little low, why do people say that when you are feeling sad, when things are not working in your favor, you just need to go into a beautiful place, go to a beautiful place and surround yourself with beautiful things. It could be nature, it could be children playing, it could be seeing some animals and birds, anything that calms your senses, calms your mind, because that thing of beauty is something which will help us overcome all the feelings of sadness and negativity. Okay, now let me go through this entire poem in 10 points. The first point that being made is eternal joy, right? All these are also keywords which have been used in the poem. The poem opens with the famous line, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Keats argues that beauty is not temporary, its value only increases as time passes, right? So it's not as though, once you see it, the beauty is going to end or it is temporary. It's nothing like that. In fact, its value only increases all the time. So the first one, yeah. So this is the first point. A quiet shelter. Beauty acts like a bower, which is again a keyword from the poem, which is a calm, shady place that provides us with sound sleep, sound, sweet dreams, and physical health. This is the second point in this poem. The third point is the bond with nature, because every morning humans use the beauty of nature, the flowery band. Whatever I put in double quotes, these are all keywords from the poem, and these kind of key phrases you can use it in your answers so that you elevate the quality of your answers. Without this connection, life would feel very unbearable if you are not able to have that connection with nature. Then the fourth point, the presence of suffering. John Keats, the poet, acknowledges, and always better also to include the name of the poet. Again, it will be, conveying to the examiner that I know. Acknowledges that the human condition is full of despondence, sadness, and a lack of noble qualities. It describes our days as unhealthy and over darkened. So, the fact that while there is beauty, there is also suffering and negativity in this particular world. The fifth point, the pall of darkness. Despite the suffering, some shape of beauty always comes along to lift the dark veil, that is the pall of sadness, from our spirit, giving us a reason to live. The sixth point, talking about the different examples of natural beauty. The poet lists specific objects of beauty: the sun that you see here, the moon, old and green trees that provide shade, and simple flowers like the daffodils, right? So these are the examples of natural beauty. What about the beauty of water? He mentions that there is the water, and comes in the form of clear rills, which are small streams like this that create a cooling green world for themselves, protecting nature against the hot season. Then the grandeur of the mighty dead. Beauty is not just in nature, it is also about the human beings who are no longer with us. It is also in the grandeur of the stories we imagine for the mighty dead, our ancestors or heroic figures whose legends continue to inspire us. That is, people who may not be with us anymore, but what they did in their lifetime, their stories continue to inspire and motivate us. So these are all different things of beauty that Keats is listing out here. Then Keats compares all beautiful things like literature, nature, and art to an endless fountain of immortal drink, an important key phrase from this poem, poured into our hearts directly from the heavens bring. Then, as I said, you want to know the detailed meaning of every line, please look at the explanation video if you haven't understood as yet. This is basically revision time for those who have already gone through that process. Then the central theme is that beauty is a spiritual necessity. It's a divine gift that allows humans to survive the trials and tribulations of the material world. This is what the poem essentially ends with. Okay. So here are some questions which I have written, which I want you to prepare. The first one, how is a thing of beauty a joy forever? Now, this is a PYQ. It has come in the past. And if you have to write it in a short kind of an answer, because it is you can write this and then connect it, because it is a permanent source of happiness and pleasure. It leaves a lasting impression on us, and its effect never fades away but keeps on increasing even if circumstances change. While I've written the basic gist, I would want you to also include some keywords like what I've told you in the 10 points and make the answer better. What I'm telling you here, because obviously it's difficult for me to write a longish answer on the screen and it will be difficult for you to read. So basically the idea is to tell you the gist of the answer, and then you need to embellish with the keywords and key phrases. Okay. Let's look at another one. How do man and animals get comfort in the hot season? Nature provides man and animals with comfort with the cooling covert, the clear rills, again double quotes, and flowers as they provide coolness. You can mention some of the flowers as well. Okay. Why did Keats use the metaphor an endless fountain of immortal drink in the poem? This came in 2022. Because things of beauty are just like an endless fountain of immortal drink of the gods that flow directly and continuously from heaven. Like the fountain of immortality is an elixir of life, things of beauty too are constant and provide everlasting joy, bliss, and happiness. And here you can also give some examples of the things of beauty that John Keats is talking in the poem. The fourth question. Why is grandeur associated with the mighty dead? The dead are mighty because they have done many courageous and praiseworthy deeds. Grandeur is associated with the mighty dead because they continue to inspire. Inspire being the key word out here, the living generation with their tales of heroism. Describe your perception of beauty. Okay, beauty can be found in the most simple things around us. It could be a sweet smile. Now, this is again, it is your perception of beauty. This is not directly related to the poem, but it is asking for your opinion. So please remember that. It could be a sweet smile flashed by a child on an elderly person. It can be a kind gesture. It can be an expression of generosity, like a person helping a blind man cross the busy street. It could be in pets playing with gay abandon. Anything that gladdens your heart, providing it bliss, is a thing of beauty and a joy forever. So this, if in case you get an opinion-based question and answer, that's why I've written it here. How does the poem appeal richly to the senses, stimulating the reader's inner sight as well as the sense of touch and smell? Now, here you need to substantiate from the poem. The poem by John Keats makes use of rich imagery by which it stimulates the different senses of the reader. The cool comfort of the power, you can put it in quote. The dancing daffodils with the green world, the clear rails quote, the mid-forest break quote, with the musk rose bloom, evoke our visual imagination, sense of smell and touch. The stories of the mighty appeal to our mind and intellect. Hence, Keats was able to make the reader imagine a lifelike experience by stimulating the different senses. Okay. Seventh question. Now, this is again a slightly opinion-based and something which relates to you as an individual. So there can never be a perfect answer. My answer could be very different from your answer. You are a blogger who loves to record travel stories. You recently visited a hill station. Pen down your post in the same mood as John Keats. The stream gradually metamorphosed into a giant waterfall as it fell from a majestic height, right? The sound as the icy cold water fell on the rock was deafening. The ferns were a partner for the fauna as tiny insects and birds lent the scene the feel of an Amazon rainforest. A chameleon turned green as if asking me if my mind and heart were not transformed as well. The fresh air hitting the countenance was as if whispering, "Stay on in the lap of nature. Mother Earth's personal cottage was bliss." This is a nice line that I've written. Here, I do admit that I've used slightly more stylish words because here they said write it in the same mood as John Keats. So you cannot write it in very, very ordinary language. Your language has to be a little poetic, right? Which is why some of the words you may find a little difficult. But just in case if you get a slight googly question like this, I want you to be prepared for this as well. Okay. Reminder that the CUET test papers are on studywithsudhir.com website. For those students who are planning to prepare for CUET, take the CUET in the month of May 2026. Some of the papers have been put. More papers will be put through April and May. So head to studywithsudhir.com, register yourself with your email ID, which is a one-time process, then sign in with the same email ID, and you will see the test papers icon. There you will find the CUET paper. So I hope this video has been of use to you to revise. In case you haven't revised and understood the poem, look at the explanation video and then you can look at the question and answer so that your revision as far as the thing of beauty is concerned is absolutely complete. Tata, bye bye. Thank you very much. Namaskar.